My 2024 was pretty okay, not really, but my 2024 started out pretty crappy. But it ended on a pretty good note, and this video is going to be a review of my 2024, some of the lessons I've learned, some of the things that I'm appreciative of, and what I'm looking forward to in 2025. So in mid-2023 and towards the end of 2023, there were quite a significant amount of people who I respect and I think are very successful in what they do, who were giving me advice that I should focus on one thing and build it, rather than do multiple things at once. And you know, for me, for the past 10 years of running businesses and being a freelancer, I've always ran multiple things and done multiple jobs at the same time, which really energized me, and it's something that I enjoy doing. So I thought, hey, some of these people who really focus on building their companies, who really focus on building their businesses, or really focus on their career, are doing pretty well for themselves financially, right? In mid-2023, I took their advice and went in to focus on real estate because I think it's something that I'm relatively passionate about, and it's something that I think can get me to where I want to be financially faster. And my mentors and the people around me in real estate who were helping me were doing extremely well. So I dropped a lot of things. I cut down a lot of things that I was doing at that time, and I went into real estate full time, or rather I focused on it. Little did I realize that that was probably one of the biggest mistakes I have ever made in my life in terms of my career. Don't get me wrong though, I did pretty well in real estate. I picked up the ropes really fast because I had fantastic friends and mentors who were willing to guide me and help me, and because I had actual clients to work with, I learned the industry extremely quickly and was doing pretty well pretty quickly by the end of 2023. But after a while, real estate work felt pretty shitty. There's nothing wrong with real estate work or the industry. I guess the way that this industry functions and its values just don't fully align with mine. Not that there's anything wrong with values of real estate agents, clients in, that industry, but more so because I've always done multiple things at once. Only focusing on one thing felt a little bit suffocating. If I have to come up with an analogy, it's kind of like eating pasta every single day. If you love having aglio olio, if you have it every single day for breakfast, lunch and dinner, every single day for 6 months straight, no matter how much you love aglio olio, you will also get tired of it. There are people who have very high tolerance for repetitive things, which is really amazing in my opinion, but I'm just not one of those people. I love aglio olio, but I just cannot eat it every single day for breakfast, lunch, dinner for the foreseeable future. I need variety. And because I was really focusing on real estate, really trying to help my clients and trying to build my career up, it became very mundane and suffocating after about a year in. And that affected my mood, made me feel a lot less energized to get out there and get stuff done, and it started to affect my life. And when you don't feel the passion, when you're not in the mood, and when you're not energized, I've always been somebody who is really passionate about my work, and when you're not energized to work, when you're not energized to get out there and do stuff that you love, work becomes a little bit more of a activity to generate income rather than something I do because I love it. And for me, that has always been the case. I've always worked on stuff that I love and not what can generate me the most money. And obviously that affected my performance at work. Yes, I still enjoy helping people, helping clients sell and buy their homes, but the repetitive nature of the work, maybe out of every 10 clients, 9 of them were not very nice, it's not always like that, but I guess just circumstances, right? And I was tired, I was drained, I was jaded, and I was in poor health. And even though financially I was doing okay, I just didn't feel like something that I was very passionate to pursue. So sometime in mid-2024, I decided that, hey, I tried this focus on one thing, and that just didn't really work out for me, both emotionally, financially, and just in life in general. And here are the lessons I've learned this year that I want to put it down in video as a reminder to myself, and in hopes that this might also help you if you are struggling to balance what you love doing and what can generate you good income. Lesson number 1. To each his own is something that I've always known my entire life, but it's something that I really truly learned to appreciate this year, because I've always walked my own path and I didn't really give two shits about what people were telling me I should be doing. But this year, because I wanted to get to a better financial position much faster, I decided to take the advice and follow the paths of some of the successful people that I respect, which is to focus on one thing rather than build multiple things at the same time. But I realized that we are different people, therefore to each his own, right? We have very different aptitudes in life. We have very different perspectives towards life, the world, and just generally life in general. What works for somebody else would very unlikely work for you. We cannot blindly take people's advice just because they are more successful than us and follow their ideologies, because what worked for them might not and will unlikely work for us. We can take reference from other people's successes and take their advice into consideration, but switching directions to follow them might not be the way to go, as I have experienced personally. But no regrets though, because I think in life it's really about experimenting, and sometimes you might trip and fall, but this is the way that you find your footing and what works for you. So ever since I came to this conclusion, I decided to go back to doing multiple things, run my podcast studio, continue running my marketing consultancy, helping my fellow real estate agents with their transactions, and teaching in a polytechnic. I just went back to doing multiple things, and instantly I felt energized. I was a lot more motivated to get out there and go get it. And very interestingly, financially, I did better than ever before, with more opportunities knocking on my door. Once my mindset had a little bit of a switch to go back to doing what I loved and what I could enjoy and where I could add most value rather than what could make me the most money, even though I kind of enjoy it, right? When my mindset switched, naturally everything just clicked and fell back into place. And emotionally, mentally, financially, I was doing much better than when I was focusing on just one thing, which is quite interesting because I literally went against the advice that was given to me. We have to find our own path and what works for us. Following other people's advice, taking them as reference is fantastic, and we should definitely do that. If not, we become blinded by our own values and our own and what is ideal, right? But we have to find our own path. And sometimes that means experimenting with different things, finding our own footing after tripping and falling. Lesson number 2. Perseverance for the sake of perseverance is toxic. I've always prided myself in being somebody that has a lot of, I guess what they call grit, a lot of perseverance. When I set my mind to do something, I will get it done. And giving up and quitting is not something that sits well with me. But this year, I truly learned the meaning of toxic perseverance. Don't get me wrong, perseverance is a fantastic value to have, and it is fantastic to have perseverance. Without perseverance and grit, many things don't get done. There will not be any growth if you do not suffer a little bit, if you do not trip and fall. You will never grow as a person, right? Whether it's in business or emotionally or mentally. What I learned is that most people persevere towards a certain goal, whether it's financial or it's a milestone, but most people don't stop and pause to ask themselves, why? Why do we persevere? Why do we fight so hard and suffer so bad to get to where we want to go? Why do we even want that thing? Why are we persevering in the first place? And if we do not stop ourselves to ask why, then it can become toxic perseverance. Perseverance for the sake of persevering. Perseverance for the sake of pride, ego, to not tell people that, hey, I am a failure, I have given up. So what I really learned to appreciate this year is to learn when to give up. You give up not because you're unable to do a certain thing, but you give up because the why in the equation is not achieved. Therefore, perseverance becomes null. Perseverance becomes pointless because you might be hitting a certain milestone financially, but if the why in the equation is not fulfilled, then it becomes pointless, right? Which is why I gave up on focusing on real estate. Not because I don't like to do real estate, not because I don't like to be a real estate agent, but because the whole concept of focusing on one thing and only doing one thing just did not sit right with me, and I felt jaded and tired. I am somebody who enjoys doing multiple things. So yes, when you give up, there might be people that laugh at you, that says you're a loser for giving up, for not persevering, for not having grit. But I think that's the difference between persevering for the sake of persevering and having the wisdom and being wise enough to know when to stop pursuing something that does not fulfill your why. Sometimes we need to take one step back in order to take 2 steps forward. Yes, giving up means that we might get laughed at. Giving up means we did not achieve what we set out to achieve. But what is the cost of not giving up? Doing something that does not fulfill your purpose and your why. Last but not least, last lesson that I really learned this year is that money is extremely important. but money is not as important as time. It's something that I've always known, but to relearn it and really experience why this is so true has really humbled me this year. Money is extremely important. Money allows you to do many things, but especially in a country like Singapore, if you look around at the very successful people who are generating loads and loads of income, you will realize one thing. They are very successful, they generate a lot of money, but they usually sacrifice two things, either one or both. Number one is time, number two is relationships. And in order for you to be a fulfilled, happy person, you do not just need money, you need time, you need to have fantastic relationships. And I realized that when I chose to take the advice of these successful people to focus on one thing, it was because I wanted to get to my financial independence faster. But I was also reminded this year that it's not about how fast you get to where you want to go, but it's also about the journey as well. There's no point getting beat up and suffer on the way there and not enjoying the journey, even if it means you make more money. Because what you're sacrificing is time which you will never be able to get back, and relationships, which certain relationships, once broken, you will never be able to get back. Money is the only thing that you can always earn and you can always get back. It's just a matter of how fast and how much. So now that I'm back to doing multiple things, helping the people, adding value to the things and the people that I love helping, I definitely feel a lot more contented, I definitely feel a lot lighter, and financially, in a very interesting way, I'm not affected. It's not like I'm making a lot more money, but I basically make enough money to invest in whatever I want to invest in, to pay for what I need to pay for, bring my family on holidays, and not spend extravagantly, but I am very comfortable and I'm on my way to my financial independence goal. I'm getting there with very light footsteps, very contented and excited about what I do every single day. What we need to really do is to learn how to be contented with what we are blessed with, appreciate what we have, and work hard to add value to people. Because when these factors are met, you add value to people and you have a purpose of why you're doing everything. You know your why you're working hard. The money will naturally come over time. Yes, it's gonna be slower, but as long as you add value and you understand your purpose in doing that thing, the money will definitely come. Yes, no, I'm not a multi-millionaire, neither have I hit my financial independence retire early goal, but I know in my heart I'm on my way there. Apart from my career and financially, this year has been especially hard. This year is a year that I lost a lot of old treasured relationships, and it pains me because I don't really know what went wrong, in a sense where I kind of know what went wrong, but the sad part is that I don't think it's anybody's fault because circumstances happen. It's nobody's fault, but everybody's fault at the same time. And I think every friendship, every relationship has its season, which is what I've learned as well. So while I'm very, very sad that some of my very old treasured friendships and relationships I've had with people have slowly faded away. You know what's the saddest part is that there's no big fight, there is no big argument. It just sort of just fades away into oblivion due to many reasons beyond our control. But this year is also a year that I've made a lot of genuine connections, whether it's in business or with new friends, and I have learned so much from them, and I have so much to learn from them, and we just enjoy each other's company, whether they are my business partners or my friends. This year is a year that I've also grown a lot closer to some of my old friends because of certain circumstances beyond our control, right? And you realize that actually there are many things that is beyond your control. We just have to learn how to ride the waves as they come and not feel too dejected when we fall. And something that makes me very excited is that some of my ex-students and some of the people I used to mentor have come back and told me that they're achieving amazing things. And I'm just really, really happy to know that I am a very, very small contributing factor to their successes. And this is why I continue to teach. This is why I do what I do. Because I don't just want to progress myself. I want to progress with the people that I mentor. I want to progress with the people that I love. So I'm super, super excited for 2025. My podcast studio is potentially expanding. Nothing concrete, but I'll share it with you when I have more time. I'm still transacting houses for my close friends, my family. I love it when I help my friends or people that come to me upgrade their home, refinance their loan, It's something that makes me extremely happy. I'm still teaching, and what I love most about teaching is that sometimes my students teach me more than I teach them. You know, it's really about sharing life experiences and opening up our perspectives to different worldviews, different people. I'm working with quite a few businesses and close friends to help them with their marketing strategy on consulting. My partners and I are even looking to expand some of our business to Asia, overseas, and stuff like that. So 2025 is going to be an extremely exciting year. So to sum up, live the life that you want to live. Obviously, easier said than done. If you can walk the journey to find your purpose for doing what you want to do, to find your purpose for working, which is going to be a very big part of your life, life is going to be more interesting, bearable, and fun. So that's me. That's my review of 2024. And I look forward to seeing you in 2025. I will be posting more content on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and everywhere. So I'll see you in the next video. Peace.